Good morning, students. Today we are going to have a session on letters and sounds. In this unit, you will learn the relationship between letters and sounds, that there is no correspondence between sounds and letters. Actually, in English, as everybody feels, it's not a phonetic language. English is a non-phonetic language because there is no letter to sound correspondence, and other languages like Telugu or Tamil or whatever languages we know, we feel that it's our native language or mother tongue. We feel there is a synchronization or there is a correspondence between letter and sound. So, any foreign learner, if they know the pronunciation of the certain words, obviously they can speak by seeing or by reading. But in English, you don't have that letter to sound concentration or correspondence. Take for example, P-U-T. We pronounce it as put. B-U-T. We pronounce it as but. If you have letter to sound correspondence, then the minimal pair like but and pat, that's not actually minimal pair, but the two words put and but, it should have a kind of similar pronunciation. Like if it is something like put, you're supposed to pronounce the other word as but, or if it is but, then you can consider as but that is not happening. And remember, in English, there are many languages which is merged into English. There are words from Latin, there are words from French, words from Japanese or even Hindi, Telugu, whatever. Different words from different languages merge into English. And one, you have a kind of, difference in word to sound pronunciation. So, definitely, in order to excel in your pronunciation or in order to develop your accent, you are supposed to learn the transcription, phonetic transcription. So, it is important to learn some common language, which is nothing but received pronunciation, which is accepted all over the world. Because in India, whatever English I speak, that I consider as Indian English, which is acceptable, and in India it is that, like for example, we call it as goat, and in general in received pronunciation it has to be pronounced as get, get, right? So that which is a diphthong sound in received pronunciation, is transformed into a long vowel sound O in goat, and that is correct when you're talking about received Indian English. But when it goes for a kind of pronunciation, then if you are if you are talking with a foreigner, they can understand this goat because they don't have an idea on the long vowel sound which is O. So unless you have a kind of idea on received pronunciation, which each and every country, a person associated with each and every country is aware of, it will be very difficult for you to survive abroad. At the same time, if this international phonetic alphabet is a kind of commonality in order to bring a global scenario. So when you're talking about a global scenario, now you should know what is there in that received pronunciation. So before going to that, you should know what are the speech organs that are associated with this speech. And when you're talking about the way you pronounce and everything, there are certain organs which are responsible for the pronunciation. And now these are the organs of speech. These are the organs of speech. So if you observe this, you can find uh, two lips. A bit back to that, you would find just I'll keep it a bit right so that everybody could see this. You can have both the lips, and back to that, back to the upper teeth. Like back to the lips, you have teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth. And back to the upper lip, you have a swollen structure which is nothing but alveoli. This is alveoli portion. And back to the alveoli, you have a palate, which is a hard, bony kind of structure. And a bit back to the hard, bony structure, which I consider as, which is generally called as hard palate. If you go a bit back, you find a soft palate, which is very soft, and you could find some, something like a floating kind of thing, right? That is soft palate. And a bit back to that, you find a hanging structure, which is nothing but uvula, which hangs into the vela portion. So when you see this, all these portions of whatever parts I have mentioned as of now have a lot of impact on your speaking or speech. And for anything, there is a concept called active articulators and passive articulators. When articulating itself indicates that how you speak, how you pronounce. So when you're talking about this articulation in general, you could see your lip movement and teeth movement. At the same time, based on the tongue touching different positions, you will have that kind of articulators. So you have two types of articulators. One is passive articulator and other one is active articulator. So active articulator in the sense, if you have any movement when you're speaking, that articulators we call as that speech organs which are involved in the movement of while articulating, that we call as active articulators. And if they are not involved in movement, that we call as passive articulators. Like for example, teeth. Now generally teeth will not go here and there, but tongue keeps on moving. So one example for passive articulator I can give as jaws, and teeth and all that. At the same time, active articulators are something like tongue and uvula, and even soft palate, which keeps on moving, but hard palate will not move. So in such a way, when you're talking about articulators, these are the organs which are solely responsible for speech. At the same time, most important part is vocal cords. Vocal cords is almost like the help of ingression. Ingression is something like inhaling the air inside, and egression is exhaling or exerting the air outside. So when you take with the intake of air, you produce some sounds, and while taking that air, that is nothing but ingression, and when you send the air out, that is nothing but egression. So with the help of ingression and egression, any person can produce sounds. And while this ingression is going on or aggression is going on, that air passes through your oral cavity or nasal cavity, or maybe pharyngeal cavity, or something like respiratory cavity and all this. At the same time, when it passes through vocal cords, that creates a kind of vibration, and this vibration causes a kind of buzzing sound. This buzzing sound is nothing but voice. So what is voice? A voice is a buzzing sound created by the vibration of vocal cords. So you don't know, what is the letter we spell or what is the word we spell and all that. Only the thing is based on the place which your tongue touches, and based on whatever sound you produce with the help of movement of vocal cords. Based on that, the consonant sounds they produce. And remember, all the vowel sounds are what we call voiced. So what now the question is, what is voiced and what is voiceless? So when we talk something like this is a voiced sound or this is a voiceless sound, that depends on the minimum and maximum of the vibration created on your vocal cords. if the vibration created by the invasion or aggression of air is minimum, then we call that sound as voiceless sound. If it is maximum, then we call it as voiced sound. So in such a way, based on the place of articulation and manner of articulation, there are 24 consonant sounds which are categorized. So for example, first place of articulation we can say bilabial. Bi means two, lab means lip. So with the help of two lips, if you produce any sound, that is nothing but bilabial sounds. And for example, p, p, b, b. So with the help of two lips touching each other, you're producing the sound p, b. So these two are bilabial sounds. Now, labiodental sound. The second category is labiodental sound. So when you talk about labiodental sound, as I already mentioned, lab means lip and dental we use for teeth. So labiodental means with the help of your upper teeth and lower lip, if you produce any sound, like for example, f, f, v, v, f, v. So these sounds are labiodental sounds. So with the help of your upper teeth and lower lip, you could produce this sound. Now dental sounds. When the tongue touches the teeth in the middle, the teeth, then we produce dental sounds. Th, 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 th. Right? So there we produce dental sounds. And now you can go for alveolar sounds. Like for example, if your tongue touches the alveolar ridge which is back to your upper teeth. So then you produce alveolar sounds. Like for example, d, 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 d. These are alveolar, some of alveolar sounds. And there are some post-alveolar sounds. There is only one sound which is considered as post-alveolar sound, which is you can produce as much time as possible with this sound. So this kind of sound we call as post-alveolar sound. And when you talk about the next category, which is palatal. Palatal in the sense it may be your hard palate or soft palate. So when your tongue touches palate region and if you produce any sound, that sound we call as palatal sound. Like for example, ear, ear. Ear is a palatal sound. Your tongue touches the palate portion. And when you talk about the other aspects or other sound, which is something like glottal sound. Glottal is something like glottis, which is the opening present in between both the vocal cords. For example, these two are the vocal cords. So this is like this. Now, and it opens and closes. Whenever it opens, the glottis will be completely open. So this is nothing but glottis. So when any foreign particle fall on it, obviously it will be rejected or sent out. So this is nothing but glottal sound which is produced by wide opening of the glottis, that we call as glottal sound. Ha, ha. We produce the sound ha by wide opening of your mouth. So that is glottal. And there is this concept called velar portion, like where uvula hangs inside. So from that portion, there are certain sounds which are produced, something like k, g, k, g, So these are the sounds which are produced with the help of this velum portion. So all these are the places. So tell me, students, tell me what are the places of articulation. First one is bilabial with the help of two lips, labiodental with the help of upper teeth and lower lip, and then third one dental with the help of your teeth, and fourth one is alveolar, post-alveolar, palatal, and there's another sound which is palato-alveolar, where the palate portion touches and comes into alveolar portion. That sounds like sh, j, ch, j, like that. And you have velar sounds and you have glottal sounds. So altogether you have nine places of articulation. And you have manner of articulation. Manner, and this is therefore consonant sounds. And the next thing is manner of articulation. So when we're talking about manner of articulation, first area is plosive, or you can call it as stops. That means by stopping the air, if you produce any sound, that is plosive. Like for example, p, b, t, d, k, g. So these all the six we call as plosives. P and b, it comes under bilabial plosive, and t and d comes under alveolar plosive, and the next one k, g comes under velar plosive. So based on the place, it is velar, and based on the articulation, it is based on the manner, it is, what is that? It is plosive. And next category is nasal sounds. With the help of nose, if you produce any sound, that is nothing but nasal sounds. So when you talk about nasal sounds, only three sounds are there which are nasal sounds. Mm, mm, mm. Mm is bilabial nasal, and next one is alveolar nasal, and third one is velar nasal. And next category is laterals. Only one sound which is alveolar lateral, that is so from the both the sides of the tongue you release the air. That is nothing but alveolar nasal, which is and there is retroflex sound. You can call it as retroflex, approximate, trills, taps, and all these words. There is only one sound, which is their sound. Next one is semi-vowels. Wa, wa, ya, and these two. Wa and ya. These two are semi-vowels. They'll have either the qualities of a vowel at the same time or the qualities of a consonant. And you have the most important component of manner, which is fricatives. With the help of some friction, you produce this sound. You throw out the air when you are producing this sound. Like for example, f, b, f, b. Labiodental fricative. F, v, f, v. Dental fricative. These are alveolar fricatives. And sh, 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 sh. Palato-alveolar fricatives. Ha, glottal fricative. So all these are fricatives. And there is another manner of articulation which is affricates. Affricates. So it is something like it has the quality of a plosive and it has the quality of a fricative. That means first it completely stops the air and slowly releases the air. Like for example, ch, j, ch, j. These are palato-alveolar affricates. So out of all this, you have covered all the 22 consonant sounds. Today in this session, we learn what is voice, and remember, as of now, I didn't talk to you what is phonetics. So after this, I want to consolidate it. Like phonetics is nothing but a scientific study of speech sounds, or a systematic study of speech sounds, which is nothing but phonetics. And phonemes are the sounds which are present in this phonetic. Like each and every language, it has its own phonology and their own phonemes. So in English, you have 44 phonemes, and as of now, you learned all the 24 consonant phonemes. So in the next session, we learn what are vowel phonemes And as of now, we learned about voiced and voiceless, place of articulation and manner of articulation of consonants. So in the next session, we learn what is the three-term label of vowel phonemes, and the cardinal vowels and ordinal vowels and all those things. And we'll meet in the next session. Thank you very much.